Well, you might want to hide your boo tonight because it looks like Dr. Greer is coming home for dinner tonight. That's right, gang. You don't have to like the video. You don't have to subscribe. Let's catch up on some bull squash and let's see what we got tonight. Roll it.
What has happened is that the unacknowledged special access projects, which is the proper name for a super secret black project that is running sub rosa, beneath the surface and illegally, is that those evolved over the last century. And they took on a huge increase back in the era of the Roswell event.
The 47th.
Just a point of note, Operation Paperclip was actually run by OSS, and OSS evolved and became the CIA.
Oh, no.
Now, I know something about this, having briefed CIA directors and put briefings together for them. Now, this Operation Paperclip wasn't just because we wanted...
What the hell? CIA directors and put briefings together for them now.
This Operation Paperclip wasn't just because we wanted the best and brightest German minds, who were very much, many of them, Nazis. But we wanted the technology. And I'm going to share something that's a little bit astonishing.
Love it.
Haven't shared this in any real detail yet, but I think I should.
So we're
about 6 months ago, I had a 7-hour meeting with the son of Senator John Warner, who I had fingered as a member of this cabal
pause on fingering, but
many years ago. And Senator John Warner, who was not Mark Warner currently of Virginia, he's the Senator John Warner of Virginia who's retired. He had been a undersecretary of the Navy and had been very connected to these classified projects from early on in his life. He married Paul Mellon's daughter. Now, the Mellon family, Paul Mellon, around the time, one of the few billionaires in the world at that time.
You know, this is one of the craziest videos. This one was captured by somebody on the plane, New York, 2024. That's the date. Yo, what are the odds? Like, somebody was able to capture a UFO flying over New York City. That's crazy, because people always gives example like the day everybody's gonna believe in them ALMLs, the aliens, is when we get a UFO showing up in the middle of New York City. But granted, you know, a UFO mothership, right, that would be standing still, park in the sky with the parking brakes on. Yeah, that's when people would start to believe, or that's when everybody would start to believe. But this is one hell of a footage, man. Yeah, oh my god. Holy smokes, it ain't no dang jokers, man. Look at that. Crazy, huh?
I went over around the time, one of the few billionaires in the world at that time, went over in 1945 to Germany with General George S. Patton and some others to retrieve a partially functioning Nazi anti-gravity system that they were working on. And that was their secret.
Have you ever heard that conspiracy theory that Hitler is alive? Oh shit! Oh shit! That they really did create the time-traveling, teleporting machine? That they were in contact with the aliens? That Hitler is still alive to this day? Yo, those conspiracies are crazy, man. I'm not saying those conspiracies are true, obviously, but yeah, no, that sparked that, actually.
Weapon that they were going to win the war with, but they didn't get it perfected before we got the atomic bomb, and the rest, as they say, is history. However, an interesting side note to this, now I learned this, that Senator Warner's son, who's about my age now, a little bit younger, said to me, you know, Dr. Greer, I have to admit that my family are fascists. He just flat out said it completely. And he is not, but he said that he's come to realize that this is very much the case, and the people that they have worked with are also fascists. They are not interested in a democratic society and an open and free society. So what happened at this point is, believe it or not, as hard ass as General George S. Patton was.
Pause on hard ass, bro. Come on, man. But can a brother perhaps get to have a date on when I need to take a vacay? You know, because Avi Loeb recently came out, right? Like, you know, with the 3i Atlas, with the Timo Atlas situation. He said that gotta take the vacation. I would suggest that take the vacation before October 29th. October 29th came and went, bro. So I don't know about that, man. So can we get a hard date on when we're gonna see them aliens come in? Right, I guess they have been coming in. People, you either believe that they have been here for years and years, thousands of years, or you believe that we're alone. Right, simple as that. But when are we gonna get a full-blown disclosure where we're gonna see actual ET bodies, not just like dead aliens, but actually them coming down and we're able to see them, meet them, say hello, and this, that, the other, right? When are we gonna have something like that? Because that's exactly what people mean when they say disclosure. I mean, everybody got their own definition, don't get me wrong, but generally speaking, right, like, you either believe that we've already had disclosure, or this is everything that's going on right now is part of it. I guess you can say that, right? They have been drip feeding us, so but if you're a believer, then you don't necessarily need the government to tell you, essentially, right? That, yeah, they're here, or they're not here, or this, that, the other. Even though the government right now has been saying they are studying these crafts, that UFOs are real, this, that, the other. But, you know, when people say disclosure, they actually mean, like, alien bodies. Like, we want to see them ALMOs, essentially.
He wanted this technology developed quickly and released to the public, because he saw the humanitarian value of it. Free energy, no surface roads, no pollution, etc., and so on. They killed George S. Patton. He was assassinated, and this is known by the Mellon family. Now, because of this, what happened, and this is 45, before Roswell, a chill went through what I call the white hats in the military industrial complex, because not all of them, you can't paint all of them with the same broad stroke. There were many of them who wanted this to come out and were stopped. And the ones who wanted to maintain the status quo, predictably, are the ones who benefit from the status quo of endless war and the centralized gangbangster system.
Pause on gangbangsters out there, but yeah, no, what he says is true. In the past, so many whistleblowers that came forward, they were mysteriously vanished. Some of them were later found dead, you know, and as though they were actually assassinated, like he said. So no, it is really true that so many of the whistleblowers have been found deceased after saying batshit crazy stuff about UFOs and aliens. Couple of days after, a couple of weeks after, not necessarily a couple of weeks, but just a couple of days after, a couple hours later, this, that, the other. It's insane to me. And nowadays we are having hearings, okay? We're having hearings, UFO hearings, UAP hearings. We have David Grush. We have other whistleblowers coming out and directly saying that we have these alien bodies. Oh, shit. That they are real, that they are here. That we have been visited by 4 different alien species: the Nordics, the tall whites, the grays, the reptilians, and all that. It's just holy shit, man. And yeah, we're in a completely different timeline, and nobody really cares. I mean, you care, obviously, you guys care, but I'm talking like generally speaking, nobody cares, because, you know, everybody's busy with, hey, you know, gotta save the plastic bags because the climate changes, right? Mom, stop saving the plastic bags. There's no climate urgency right now. You know, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's not all a lie, but, you know, jokes aside though. But still, it's crazy. We're now figuring out that Russia has developed, or they have developed, the, you know, nuclear stuff that they're using submarines to cause hurricanes and all that. It's nuclear hurricane with the torpedoes and all that. Yeah, I made a video recently on it. Yeah, so that's coming out. I mean, oh my goodness, man, we are in a different timeline. They got us all drinking through paper straw, thinking that we're saving the climate. Meanwhile, these suckers out here blasting stuff, quite literally. It's insane. Really quickly, before we move on, I want to say shout out to all of you guys out there watching this video. Also, shout out to the homie Ron, DJ, Robert, Notable, and all of you guys for dropping the tips, the super thanks. You guys don't have to like the video, you don't even have to subscribe, you don't have to tip or super thanks, but those of you that do it, thank you. Alright, let's get back to the content here, boo. Roll it.
Now, these folks worked hand in glove with large banking cartels and oil cartels. David Rockefeller was mentioned earlier. And yet there were people in those families who were trying to defect. For example, Lawrence Rockefeller, an early supporter of disclosure and the man who set up the briefings for Bill and Hillary Clinton and the materials we put together in the 90s, he was opposed to this secrecy. He wanted to make open, peaceful contact with these civilizations, and he knew we were in trouble. And so Lawrence Rockefeller, however, could only go so far. You know, I recount this story. I'm going to stay way back here. I recount this story of being at the Rockefeller Ranch, and I'm out there and late at night and he's in his 80s, mid 80s, and he says to me, well, we need someone to head this up. I'm a doctor working full-time in an ER. I mean, we're working, you know, my short shifts were 15 hours, our long ones were 27. And I had 4 little children, and I had, you know, I said, well, this is ridiculous. And I said, Lawrence, you're old and you're rich and you're a Rockefeller. Why don't you do it? He said, oh no. He said, my family are already jumping up and down on my, I won't say what he said, toes, because I'm even hosting this meeting. And I said, well, why is that? He says, they don't want this to come out.
Who's they?
The other part of this clan. So this is, you know, people make these simplistic sort of conspiracy cases.
NASA live stream December 16, 2024, 3:04 p.m. GMT. Ooh. So they forgot to shut down. Oh, they shut down the live feed. I was gonna say, oh shit, they forgot to shut down the live feed. Ah, there you go. So they did shut down the live feed, but we saw it. Yeah, this live video feed. What do these suckers say? Yeah, live video feed from the International Space Station has been temporarily interrupted. My ass! Why are we paying taxes to these? Yeah, the second 3i Atlas, okay, Timo Atlas or whatever you want to call it, was in range. They have recorded videos, they have recorded images, but they're not showing us. Even to this day, they haven't revealed anything about the 3i Atlas and Timo Atlas. Not absolutely.
The craziest things I've ever seen. You can't be near the podium without it.
Absolute lunacy.
Oh, yeah, that had to be a robot. I've never seen such things ever. And so what happened in this 7-hour meeting with Senator Warner's son at the Watergate, ironically, where they have a home, or 2 homes joined together, a massive condo complex. And we were talking about this, and I said, well, to what extent has this been known in your family? And did you get confirmation directly? He says, yes. Paul Mellon, as he got older, had a few too many drinks once and spilled the guts, the beans, all of it, to Senator Warner's son, and confirmed that, in fact, we had technologies we'd gotten from the Nazis and had been studying, and that those were actually under development.
No.
But along with those technology are the things like this disintegrator weapon that Mr. Hellier referred to, that are scalar electromagnetic systems. Those are not new. Those were developed in the early part of the 20th century. And those were weaponized so that when these ET craft were checking out what these murderous monkeys, known as humans, were doing near Roswell, they switched it on, bang, 3 of them crashed. Ooh. 2 were retrieved very quickly. The 3rd one wasn't found until 1951 or 52. So
J-Rod? Was that J-Rod? Because you heard the story of J-Rod, right? You haven't? Guys, come on, man. It's not gonna work like that. If you haven't heard the story about Uncle J-Rod, then J-Rod was apparently the name of an alien. So yeah, I know. We gave him the nickname J-Rod. That's crazy. So he's alluding to the idea, not necessarily alluding, but saying that we made them crash, or we crashed their UFOs. What the hell?
These murderous monkeys known as humans were doing near Roswell. They switched it on, bang, 3 of them crashed. 2 were retrieved very quickly. The third one wasn't found until 1951 or 52. So
he was like going on this planet, just walking around, and we just caught them. Okay, what?
And people think, well, many people in the media have said, well, you know, what would interstellar civilizations not be able to fly in our atmosphere? They were flying in our atmosphere, and then were being surprise targeted with scalar or longitudinal electromagnetic weapons that were early iterations of what we have today. And that is why they crashed. And if you look at the FBI memo that's in the film Unacknowledged, you will see, if you read it carefully, from a field officer to J. Edgar Hoover, that it says that apparently the discs crashed near Roswell because of a new, and I love the euphemisms that they use, radar system. All right, so electromagnetic, bouncing things off of objects is radar. A new radar system they switched on that caused these ET craft to collide into each other and crash.
Man, for the longest amount of time, I was thinking that it was just a couple of drunk alien pilots or them alien baddies that were just crashing UFOs. Yeah, but it looks like that it was basically us as in Homo sapiens, right? Yeah, you don't. What the hell, man? Yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna find out the truth. What is even the truth, right? What is even the truth?
But they were not just normal radar that did this. So we have to look back now of over 70 years, and this is the 70-year anniversary of Roswell, of actions being taken by humans, which, if we don't get this under control, could lead to exactly what we have been warned about. And I want to go through a few clips. Some of these you will see, not all of them, in the film. Now, the first one I want to play is the one that was referenced by Mr. Hellier, by Eisenhower.
Roll it. Jamie, pull that up.
No sound.
Jamie! We need a sound, Jamie.
By the military.
There we go.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Pull that video up, though.
And then play the next one. That was in 1961. This is they're on the
shadowy government with its own Air Force, its own Navy, its own fundraising mechanism.
There you go.
And the ability to pursue its own ideas of the national interest, free from all checks and balances, and free from the law itself.
That's a U.S. senator saying that, not a conspiracy theorist at a UFO conference.
Dang.
So, and then I want to play the next one, which is, put up the next quote from Admiral Roscoe Hillenkoetter, the first director of the CIA.
It is time for the truth to be brought out. Behind the scenes, high-ranking Air Force officers are soberly concerned about the UFOs. But through official secrecy and ridicule, many citizens are led to believe the unknown flying objects are nonsense. I urge immediate congressional action to reduce the dangers from secrecy about unidentified flying objects. CIA Director, Vice Admiral Roscoe Hillenkoetter.
I highly recommend, if you haven't seen Unacknowledged, definitely check it out. Yeah, I recognize this voice because in Unacknowledged he brought him, and he has a very unique voice, so I recognize that he had his testimony in the Unacknowledged documentary.
Make note, that was the first CIA director at the time of Roswell. The CIA was formed within weeks of the Roswell event. He, in a letter to Congress that was later printed in the New York Times, called for this congressional oversight, and he did not talk about the dangers of the UFOs. He talked about the dangers of the secrecy around UFOs, just like Eisenhower did. It's a nuance with a huge distinction. So, on the one hand, we had interstellar civilizations surveilling our most sensitive atomic weapons facilities, and we were taking actions to down them and destroy them. And there have been hundreds of these objects that have been downed, not a couple, hundreds. In fact, there's a man on my team.
Yeah, right, like, what are the odds? Because people always bring this up that, yeah, like, whoa, right? Like, these UFOs are traveling, like, the millions of light years, or not millions, but, you know, not even thousands. Light years, okay? Let's just say light years, because when you say millions, thousand, it's just batshit crazy, right? That's insane. But they are traveling from God knows which part of the universe, which planet, this, that, the other. So they're able to come here from, we're not sure how far away, and it's fine, but they get here and then they crash. Like, some don't add up, something not adding up. But then people are like, well, you know, we got thousands of UFOs, so, I mean, at least a couple of them gotta crash. Makes sense, right? The odds. So you're playing the odds game. So if like 100 UFOs shows up, yeah, if one of them or two of them crashes, no biggie, you know, it happens. Shit happens, okay, essentially. Shit happens. But what if it's us that is downing their crafts? You know, because we want to study it, we want to study them, we want to reverse engineer their tech, we want their tech quite literally, we want to get some, and yeah, simple as that. Perhaps that's what it is. Did you see this video though? If not, yeah, definitely check this one out. We just made that recently, and yeah, they're talking about a UFO crashing at Area 51, and we also got a video of it. Check it out, and I'll see you right there.